Rugby League is back. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball HTB. I hope you're well. Thanks again for joining in. Look, I appreciate it very much. If you're new, you know what to do. Getting a bit old now, but hey, we will continue. Wow, what a game. All Stars, right? The Māori take on the Indigenous over Bankwest Stadium, Sydney. A game that I suppose many pundits had the Indigenous winning. To be fair, if you looked at both teams, you would have been, we wouldn't have been a fool to have picked the Indigenous team, to be fair, with the likes of Edo Ka, Tabuai Fido, Kobo, even Hines, as well as Trindle as your halves. But then you look at the Māoris on paper and you just realise, well, as good as they were, obviously you could tell they were missing some key parts, key players, and at the same time probably a bit untested in some areas too. Karina Karima as well as Tapine getting captaincy was probably another part of the mysterious sort of a team that we're looking at here. Overall, without trying to get into too much detail, because this is focusing on the Warriors players specifically, the Māori just took advantage of this game. Defensively, in terms of the rainy, wet footy, their forward pack as well. The Indigenous tried, but I think they were playing too much catch-up footy and ultimately couldn't get it done in the end. So in saying that, well done to the Māori. Congrats, and I believe they hold the trophy now since 2020. So I think this is the third year running. Now, the main point of this is to look into the Warriors boys. And first and foremost, I tipped the Māori to win this game. I had the scoreline of 18 points to 14. But in saying that, it's 16 points to 10. Close enough. But look, in saying that, we'll look at him. So Josh Curran for me, first and foremost, obviously, I love seeing Joshy out there. It was so good to see him represent the Indigenous side. As we saw as well during their dance, their war cry, did you see him sort of point the stick at the Warriors boys? He just looked at him, and I thought that was good fun banter. Josh Curran had 48 minutes, 67 run meters, 1 tackle break, and 18 tackles with no misses, so he was 100% accurate. Some of the lines he ran as well I thought was good. Josh Curran to me looks a lot more polished actually, and again for me it was more so focusing on the Warrior boys as opposed to anyone else really. Obviously you have your superstars, but for me the main focus of this game was for the Warriors. And Josh Curran to me, I thought he played a superb game. The rating I give him personally is about a 7 out of 10. Obviously, granted, he went off at the end with the head knock there. I do hope he's okay. He was there walking, so again, good signs there. But it's always good to see Curran there, and he did well for the Indigenous boys. So over to the Māori. We had Nikorima. Can I just say, first and foremost, I was very reluctant with the pairing there, okay? Maybe it's just me being cynical. Maybe it's just that unfortunate, scared Warriors fan in me that looks at this team week in, week out with fear. But I was actually really surprised at the way they played, especially Nikorima. Nikorima, to me, managed and played so well. Nikorima, to me, was superb. And Shania Harris-Tavita, I couldn't fault either. I mean, granted, maybe some little plays here and there, but I mean, they did better than what I thought they would, and it was against a very hot, on paper, Indigenous team, so you've got to take that for what it's worth. Kari Nikorima had 76 minutes, 78 run meters, 2 tackle breaks, 1 line break, 16 tackles, 2 misses, as well as 244 kick meters. And again, that is some good stuff there. Remember, he was also co-captain too, so there was a lot of weight that was added to his role, and he, in my opinion, played very well. So again, hats off to him. I thought he played well. My rating for him was 8 out of 10. And he scored a meat pie too, as I mentioned. It's good. Good stuff. Shania Harris-Tavita, as I mentioned beforehand, 62 minutes, 128 run meters, 1 tackle break, 1 line break, 10 tackles plus 1 miss. Overall, he, in my opinion, picked some really solid lines to run through. Obviously, there was a part in play where there was a ball kicked from the Indigenous team, and he basically almost, to a degree, was almost playing that fullback position, pounced on the ball, ran a few good meters. Shania Harris-Tavita, I just thought looked well polished, and again, it's preseason. It's just it's just one, it's one game. I get it, and there's just the All Stars game, but still, he looked promising. I can't lie there. For him, I'll personally give him a 7 out of 10. Jazz Tavanga, we all know him. 53 minutes played. 88 run meters, 2 tackle breaks, 37 tackles, and 2 misses. Jazz Tavanga was his usual self, that usual pit bull dog mentality, and I mean that in a complimentary way. He was an absolute cannon, I thought, in some parts of the game. Obviously, him and Josh Curran as well, getting into it every now and then. But it was nice to see him, make sure Curran was okay at the end when Curran was, subsequently subbed off. One thing as well I also enjoyed about Tavanga's game is that DNA that he has, that real gritty, as I said before, dog-like mentality was still there. It was evident. And for me personally, it was just good to see him play. I give him a personal 6.5 out of 10. And again, these ratings are subjective. Please tell me your ratings, please. But I just thought overall it was good. And yes, this game to me, it was obviously a focus on the Indigenous and Māori culture and obviously the players, obviously the game. But for me, more specifically, I was more attentive to my players and I was a bit afraid of injuries happening. I do genuinely hope that Curran is okay. It's not good to see at all. Especially someone of his caliber. He just ran some really good lines today as well. Had a few good tackle situations too. Curran just looked very polished, very good. I'm very pleased. Same for Nikorima as well as CHT. And like I said, Jazz, just that usual bulldog mentality, which was good to see. But again, overall, I'm just impressed that the boys surprised me. Now, what does this mean in the context of the Warriors, right? The bigger picture here. Well, it means Shaun Johnson. Well, it means the Warriors. It means Nathan Brown probably has a bit of a good problem to have. Like I said, it's just one game. I'm not going to get too carried away. I know we have our opinions on different players, certain players. I get it, I understand. But I'll tell you what, Nikorima put his hands up. I'll just be honest. Shania Harris-Tavita even put his hand up, I thought. Now, obviously, we head into this preseason game against the, I believe it's the Storm, next week, Saturday. And I'll be joining Hammer and Ruru as we do a live watch party. I'll be part of their party there, so I'm honoured and absolutely feel privileged to be part of it. So please stay tuned for that next week Saturday. But I'm going to assume that Ash Taylor will be picked, and he'll get his chance to run. You know what I mean? He'll get his chance to prove what his worth is. But it's a good problem to have. Who does Shaun Johnson partner with? I'm not too sure. I think Shania Harris-Tavita and Nikorima did a good job, but how's Ash Taylor going to respond? You know what I mean? And again, Three guys who are just hungry and just want to play. Beautiful problem to have. But I'm just telling you now, Nikorima, I threw a few bricks at him. But I'll tell you what, he looked good. I'm just saying he looked good. That's all I'm going to say. But I mean, overall, in saying that, the game itself was good. It was entertaining. There's a few big calls here and there. Obviously a few scraps, but it is what it is. When the boys get amongst it, representing their culture, things happen. For me, though, it's good. It's a good game to watch as a spectator. I will say, though, side note, hopefully in the coming years, it'll be good for the NRL to actually incorporate a Polynesian All Stars team, and I would love to be part of that movement for sure. But in saying that, we'll leave that for now. But no, overall, good game. Like I said, rugby league is back. What was your favourite moment, by the way? Who were you looking for? Obviously, as fans, we want to eye off our players. Bulldogs fans were looking at Edo Carr, I'm sure. Warriors fans, Storm fans, Cowboy fans, so on, Sharks fans, obviously looking at your own players. Who are your favourite players to watch? And did your tip go well? But in saying that, thanks for watching this. Tell me what you guys think. But isn't it good? Isn't it good? This is the precursor for the preseason coming up next week and the week after that. But I think it's safe to say, guys, that guess what? Rugby league is back. What a beautiful feeling. Take it easy, and guess what? Both teams played well, but the Māori know how to hold the ball. Take it easy. See you guys next time. Pause. Who was that?